Hello, this is the full-time Champions League recap, second leg. We are down to 12 teams in the competitions, and we know, and this is the big story, we will have a new champion. Yes, Liverpool, the team that won it in 2019, is out following a 3-2 defeat at the hands of Atletico Madrid, Champions League specialists, defensive innovators, wonderfully coached by Diego Simeone. 3-2 score at Anfield. A score that doesn't really give the scoreline much justice. Liverpool were gallant on this game. They were thrusting repeatedly from the beginning of the game. Through 90 minutes, they took the one-zip lead. They were able to get that critical second goal early on in extra time, and then I think everything at the bottom fell out. The breaks didn't go their way. Adrian, the goalkeeper, questions obviously there, and I don't think we can be too critical of Adrian in this situation because he is a backup goalkeeper. Alisson Becker not available. It is what it is, and backup keepers are going to be backup keepers. Still not a bad backup, but he made obviously the horrible pass or the horrible kick straight into the hands of Marcos Llorente, who would score and score again. Liverpool, just to further emphasize what they were able to do, 34 shots. 71% possession. They were relentless. Played like champions. I cannot give them enough accolades because they really deserved it. Just ran out of steam there. And, I'm Diego Simeone, I get a lot of criticism for this because I rate him so highly as a player. I'd say he's a top 20, top 25 player all time. All time. And as a manager, when you're probably somewhere 10 or 15 all time, you put it all together, there are very few people that have contributed more to this game than Diego Cholo Simeone. An incredible performance to get Atletico Madrid into the quarterfinals again in a competition that feels, as it felt heading into the round of 16, very wide open. A lot of the heavy hitter teams not performing at the level that we would expect. That includes both Barcelona and Real Madrid. That includes Liverpool, even though they had a good game here today. That includes Manchester City, who do have a foot in the quarterfinal door. They'll play Real Madrid coming up here. That includes a couple other teams that's escaped me. It doesn't include Bayern Munich, who are playing wonderfully. But certainly it feels a little more open than we would have thought when we had a round of 16 team without any clubs from outside the big four, big five leagues. So here we are. Liverpool is out. We're going to have a new champion. It felt like we were going to have a new champion. And as we close the door on Liverpool, I would want to say, and I think people will say it was a disappointing season. They are going to win their first Premier League title in 30 years. This is not a disappointing season. This is 30 years of the waiting. Enjoy it, Liverpool fans. You had an incredible run, certainly with what you were able to do the last 2 years in the Champions League. To keep that level is impossible. I think if you got by Atletico Madrid, you weren't going to get much further in the Champions League. I think the cracks were starting to show over the last few weeks. I would want to say, as I like to give really strong hot takes, I believed this before, but I believe it even more now. Jan Oblak, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, is the best goalie on the planet. And he certainly proved that with the work he had to do. He is the best, and he allows Atletico to do what they will do. So, Jan Oblak, your best goalkeeper on the planet. Liverpool legacy intact. So many great memories. Liverpool redefined the sport. It's changed because of what they were able to do. Remember, we lived in the Messi, Ronaldo world. Messi, Ronaldo, and Real Madrid. They changed it. And whoever wins this, and I still think it could be anyone, I think is going to be closer to the Liverpool adaptation that we had in years past. So an incredible evening in Europe. As I transition to the other game from Wednesday, PSG at the Parc des Princes defeating the kids at Dortmund 2-0, moving forward. The tournament has been compromised. It has. Obviously, that pales in comparison to the seriousness of what we're dealing with the coronavirus. We don't know the future of this tournament. It may not have a future the way things are going. But as it stands right now, it has been compromised because Liverpool got to play in a raucous cauldron that was Anfield. PSG had to play in an empty stadium. That said, PSG went through and Liverpool did not. So, but it is still, because there's going to be teams that will play in empty stadiums. Actually, I would have to imagine there will not be a game, at least for the next month, that will be played in a stadium with fans. Things are moving very quickly. That's a terrible choice of words, but in more ways than one. And the way it looks, this Liverpool getting a home game or Leipzig getting a home game, that's not going to happen anymore at this point. But let's talk about what PSG were able to do inside the empty stadium. I feel so good for Neymar. I mean, this guy, they have piled on his shoulders, and he has brought a lot of that upon himself. He has done a lot of things that are questionable. He has handled it bad. He's been injured repeatedly. But here he is at this moment. And remember, PSG's recent history in the Champions League, getting not only knocked out at the round of 16, but getting knocked out in horrific fashion the last 2 years, where they had their hand on it, obviously with Manchester United the one year. And it's unbelievable how it's turned for them in the last 2 campaigns. So for them to get to the round of 16, have their backs against the wall, losing 2-1 at Dortmund. Everyone talking about these incredible kids at Dortmund. And for them to respond, shut down Haaland, shut down Sancho, Gio Reyna, and everyone else that came onto the field. That is a huge achievement for PSG. And I got to be honest, they were my favorites coming in. I jumped the boat to Bayern. I am not the kind of person that says they were my pick from the beginning, so I'm sticking with it. If I see a team better equipped, I will switch. I think I'm locked into Bayern at this point. But I put PSG right behind them as the second favorite. And this goes a long way to show that they can get by here. Neymar, getting back to him, scoring goals in both legs. That's big time. That's big time. He won this for PSG. He got them through to the quarterfinals. And now they are focused. They don't have to worry about the hoodoo of being knocked out at an early stage in the round of 16. Neymar delivered. And again, PSG, my second favorite. Again, the draw, when the quarterfinal draw comes out, will tell us everything. Maybe it will end up being PSG and Atletico. Maybe it'll be PSG and Bayern Munich. It's going to be some interesting matchups. Tuesday's games included Leipzig and Atalanta. And I'm going to group them here together for a moment because I think both those teams could keep this tournament going. They both look capable of making a semifinal to me. They both really look at it. We'll start with Leipzig. And hats off to the Red Bull folks. You know, they have a Formula One team. They have these guys jumping out of outer space, X Games, whatever. They have really good soccer football. Leipzig, Salzburg, that helped us bring to attention Holland, Red Bull New York to a lesser degree, but still a good organization, certainly. Red Bull knows football, man. They do. Give them credit. Leipzig, of the two teams, looks like a team that can not only make the semis, I think could make the final. So many young players that we have to get used to. Obviously, Marcel Sabitzer is a real talent. He's not a young player, but he delivers in this big spot. Dayot Upamecano is a guy I'm starting to learn a little bit more about. He is fantastic. Nadim Mukiele, fantastic talent. They are finding these players, putting them in the limelight. Leipzig just undressed Tottenham Hotspur, and I think really put a stamp on this club. Failed season, because now you have Tottenham Hotspur making that huge move with Mauricio Pochettino, who I said at the time I didn't like it, and I like it even less. They brought in Jose Mourinho, who just completely renovated the way the team plays. Yes, he had injury concerns, but the product on the field is not very good. And there's a little karma here at play as well, because players complain about Pochettino. Now some of those players aren't delivering for Tottenham Hotspur, and they've really foiled Mourinho's legacy as well. Tottenham Hotspur in rabble right now. There's no other way to put it. As I put a bow on, or as I close the case on Tottenham Hotspur, and this is something I talked about, I sang to the heavens of the Premier League last season. Sang to the heavens, and rightfully so. You could see it. Something strange has happened with that league. They just don't have it. And we saw it, Liverpool falling short. Spurs out. Chelsea will be out soon enough. Only Man City has the banner. There won't be a Premier League team in the final this year. Something happened. I'm not sure what, but they don't have that eye of the tiger. They don't have the eye of the tiger. Quickly about Atalanta, who had to play in an empty stadium, which was Valencia's. This was bigger than just a game because we know how the coronavirus has hit the nation of Italy. It is hit it as hard as any place not named China. Even more, some people would even say it's pulling up to Korea's bumper on that. But for them to win there, and they had a beautiful sign at the end saluting their fans in Bergamo, the hometown of Atalanta, that was a good moment. This is a team that can keep going further. Josip Ilicic scored 4 goals. They have Alejandro Gomez, great playmaker. They have these great wingbacks that can move. Gianpiero Gasperini is the hot coaching candidate out there. Not just because he's winning with Atalanta, but it's a beautiful style of play. So he's probably not going to be at Atalanta next season. But what a great story. When we thought we weren't going to get a Cinderella story, we got one in Atalanta. They are moving on, and keep your eyes on the boys from Bergamo. Atalanta and Atletico, 2 second-place teams, move on to the quarterfinals. That is an indicator that it's going to be wild. I hope we can get a tournament in, but we just don't know. But while it's here, let's enjoy it together. Subscribe to Full Time for all the latest. You get opinions from me, only from me. It's the real deal, Holyfield, folks. Hope you enjoy it.